So I'm with Nate Dennis, man, who is a pro metal detector who got into it, and he's telling me a crazy story of one time when he got not really attacked by a ghost while he was metal detecting, and normally I'd say I'd kind of roll my eyes until I had my own ghost experience, and now I gotta think hard about this. But anyways, it's an interesting story, a cool story. And with that, Nate, take it away.
All right. This happened about 5 years ago down in St. George, Utah. At the time, I didn't believe in ghosts or really anything like that, or that they could touch you or anything like that either. I guess I just didn't really know. And there was a haunted house, or a supposed haunted house, on the corner of our street, and every time my cousins would come over to see us, that was kind of the thing we'd do at night. I'd say, hey, you guys want to go see a haunted house? And it was always vacant. People that would move in they weren't in there long, and they'd move out, and so it was always vacant. And I'd take my cousins over there, and we would take cameras and try to take pictures, and I would taunt, yell things at the home, and I don't know, trying to arouse something maybe, or maybe I'd catch something on camera. And this one night, I went over there by myself to get some footage, and the second I stepped up on the property, something rushed up on me, and I just started burning across my chest and my neck. And what's weird is I knew exactly what was happening as this was going down, and what I did is I stuck my camera to my forehead and I knew I was being attacked. It was crazy. I stuck my camera to my forehead, and I took a picture, and then I took off running, ran about 10 feet, and thought I better stop and take a picture to make sure nothing wasn't chasing me, or just in case something was, I could maybe get it on film. And I took another picture, and I ran home, and gosh, it blew my mind. I couldn't believe that this type of thing was real, and I knew what was weird. I've never been attacked by a ghost, but while it was happening, I knew something was attacking me, like a ghost was attacking me, and it blew my mind. And I didn't know that they could touch you and stuff like that if they were real. And so that definitely changed my outlook on ghosts there. And leading into metal detecting, I was out at my brother's house. Now, my brother lives in Holden, Utah.
So this is a different place than what you're going to tell me now. It's a different story. Okay.
Yep. In Holden, Utah, my brother bought the old candy store that everyone heading from north to south would stop at before I-15 was built. They'd stop there in Holden, and there's a candy store that they would all pull over at and get their snacks and get out and stuff. And that's my brother's house now. He renovated it, and there's a cute old cookie cutter late 1800s home right next door to it. And what I understood was a Jewish family had converted to the LDS church and moved in there, and then they built a candy store and a movie theater right on their property there, right on Main Street, and that's how they made their living. Well, I was out in front of the house, the cookie cutter home, metal detecting, and guys, I was going over, I'd tear that place up with my brother, looking for cool artifacts that we could shadow box, and we could put it with his home. Well, I was right in front, or between the front window, which was the old dining room and kitchen, and the front door, and metal detecting, and all of a sudden I got this tingle up my back and electric feeling, and I stood up and I looked over expecting a ghost or something to be standing right there in the window staring at me, and thank heavens it wasn't. And for whatever reason, I just started talking out loud what I was doing there. I felt a little uncomfortable. I felt like there was a presence there, and I explained how thankful I was to be there, how beautiful the house was, and If there was anything that maybe these previous owners that were still there may have left in the yard, may have dropped during their lifetime, why I'm not there to just take it out of the ground and take off with it, that we're building the shadow box and things to hang up on the walls and to appreciate the area and the home. And so with that being said, I went back to metal detecting, and seriously, my next swing, I get this strong target, and what's weird is I had gone through that yard so many times and thought we had pulled stuff up, but I keep going back and finding more stuff. But this loud target, I dig my plug and I pull it out, and out rolls a ring. And I look down at it, and in my mind, I could picture a tall, skinny white guy with a mustache and like a farmer hat on. And in excitement with that and the ring rolling out, I just yell out, "This is yours!" And the front door of the home starts banging. And yeah, and I get scared, and I take off running around the yard there in front of my brother's home, which is the old candy store. And I'm excited, but I'm a little freaked out because that just happened. I'm excited too because I popped a gold ring out of the ground there. And come to find out, it's a signet ring, so there's initials on the ring. And I left the ring. I left everything at my brother's house, like I promised I would. And so we still need to clean it up to get the initials off. But I'm betting you when we line it all up, that man, it'll belong to that guy who I saw in my head, because the next time I came down, I'd go down about every month or so. I'd go down and hang out with him, and we'd play around with the metal detectors. Next time I come down, I walk into his house, and he has a picture on his wall of the guy I saw in my head.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. And what had happened was the descendants of that family came by to look at their ancestors' old property. And they brought with them a little 3-ring binder with their family history and pictures of their family in that home.
Really?
Yeah, yep. And they gave it to my brother, and for whatever reason, my brother hung some of those photos up on his wall there. So I come walking in, and there's that guy with that mustache that I saw. And it just blew me away. And now that I wish I could remember his name now, but I will when we go to clean that up. But I bet you it's gonna line up with that fella right there.
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. And I never thought this kind of stuff could happen, but it happened to me, and I can testify to that. And I don't know what else to say with it. It was a pretty crazy story.
So is this the same? Well, that's another story you're going to get into. Huh?
Which one?
The tokens and all that.
Oh yeah. That's another story for
Okay.
for the actual metal detecting. No ghosts led me to that or anything like that.
Okay. So like I said at the beginning of this, I was a huge skeptic of ghosts until I had my own ghost counter. Talked to one for 30 minutes and didn't even know he was a ghost till 4 months later. And ever since then, my mind's going, wow. He didn't look dead to me, so.
Man!
So I think if I had an experience like yours, that would have freaked me out a little, because it freaked me out when I found out this guy had been dead for 8 to 10 years before I'd met him and I talked to him. For a half hour I talked to him. He didn't look dead.
Wow.
So when I found out that he'd been dead for that long, it kind of freaked me out, because my mind's trying to go back and think, man, what really happened there,
Yeah.
It happened 4 months, I didn't find out for 4 month later.
Man, you thought it was a real person you just talked to right there.
It looked like a real person to me. So.
I believe that stuff, and I've heard of other accounts of things like that happening, and I've actually seen security cam footage of security officers talking to just a chair in a lobby area, having a conversation, and then walking off. And and they didn't even realize that they were talking to a spirit, and they could have sworn it was a real person there too.
Really?
So I believe that.
Yeah, some crazy stuff's out there. Well, Nate, man, that's it. I appreciate you sharing that story with me, and with that said, man, that's a wrap.